markets fall in Europe.
It indicates quite clearly that no region, no matter how wealthy from the revenue provided by a high oil price up until 4 or 5 months ago, is immune from the global financial turmoil.
Okay, so today we're going to be talking about a controversial topic. Is the Dubai real estate market in a bubble? Okay, so since the COVID-19 lows, Dubai property prices have absolutely skyrocketed. They've increased by over 37% in less than 3 years. In some places, like the luxury segment of the market, they've increased by over 100%. So after hearing these prices, surely we're in a bubble. Let's dive deeper into the numbers and discover whether we're going to boom or bust. First of all, this is not the first time Dubai has experienced rapid increase in price growth followed by massive declines. Back in 2008, property prices were like Bitcoin and shot up, and also in 2013, property prices increased rapidly, reaching a peak in 2015, where they slowly started to decline for the next 5 years until they reached a low during the COVID times. What does this mean for us today? First of all, property prices are driven by supply versus demand. If there's more demand for real estate and supply doesn't keep up, property prices will rise. First of all, the governments handled the COVID-19 pandemic very well. This led to people moving to Dubai and job creation, and this led to people demanding properties, therefore leading property prices to rise. Also, you've had high oil prices, and this benefits Dubai because you've got more jobs being created, you've got a growing economy. This then leads to people demanding property and prices going up. And the final factor has been the Russian-Ukraine war. Because of geopolitical tensions, a lot of Russians and a lot of Ukrainians have moved over here and they see Dubai as a safe haven. Therefore, over the last year, they've been buying lots and lots of properties, which means property prices are increasing at such a rapid rate. Therefore, for property prices to drop, we either need a decrease in demand or a lot more supply on the market. In the short term, I don't see this happening. There's geopolitical tensions. There's therefore lots of people still looking to put their money into places such as Dubai. Also, another factor is China's economy is starting to reopen. We're therefore seeing Chinese tourism starting to come back into Dubai, as well as the Chinese starting to buy properties in Dubai, therefore keeping demand high, which is causing prices to continue to rise. Therefore, there's unlikely to be a property collapse anytime in the near future. However, the rate at what properties have been growing is likely to slow down over the next year or so. It's also worth noting that over 70% of properties were cash buys, considering the average in the United States is about 20%. This was caused because of the Russian-Ukraine war. You've had lots of Ukrainians and Russians who are looking to pull their money out of their countries as fast as they can because their own countries are so uncertain right now. So that means in the near term, I believe property prices are going to continue to rise, albeit at a slower pace to what they have been. Okay, so what could cause property prices to decrease?
Dubai seemed immune to an economic crisis. The global economic downturn has caught Dubai.
It indicates quite clearly that no region, no matter how wealthy from the revenue provided by a high oil price up until 4 or 5 months ago, is immune from the global financial turmoil.
Any black swan event where people suddenly have to leave Dubai, that will cause property prices to decrease. And with the recent collapses of both SVB and Credit Suisse, this doesn't seem so far-fetched anymore. Also, what could cause prices to drop over the medium term is an increase in supply. So as real estate is driven by supply versus demand, when there's very high prices in real estate that we're currently seeing, that means developers are looking to build. Therefore, we're seeing lots of activity from developers who are looking to build while the prices of real estate are still very high. There's a saying, make hay whilst the sun shines, and this is what property developers do. They're currently building lots. However, it's worth noting with property, there's a lag time. So these properties which are being built right now, they're not going to be ready for 2 years because of the nature of property. This therefore could lead to a situation where there's suddenly a financial crisis in 2 years' time. The demand for property goes down because people leave Dubai to go back to their home countries. And then you're at a position where you've got lack of demand just when the supply of all these properties are coming onto the market. What this will then do, it will cause prices to decrease. That's something we saw in 2014 where property prices reached its peak. and the property prices then started to go down because there was oversupply coming onto the market. So I believe there's a real possibility of prices continuing to rise for the next year, with lots of supply scheduled to come onto the market in years 2 and 3. And just when that supply is ready to come onto the market, we could be in a financial situation which is a lot worse here in Dubai than we're currently at today. This will then cause property prices to decrease, which we've seen previously. So in a short term, I feel we're not in a bubble because demand is still outpacing supply. That means property prices are likely to continue to grow. However, globally, the macroeconomic picture is looking relatively bleak, with rising interest rates and inflation continuing.
Markets fall in Europe and the US.
Fears grow over the stability of the banking industry.
The turmoil that rocked US-based Silicon Valley Bank at the end of last week has now spread to Europe.
Therefore, if the world goes into a global recession, Dubai is likely to be affected as well. This could lead to a situation where there's decreased demand with increasing supply continuing to come onto the market, and that will then drive property prices down. The reality of the situation is nobody really knows what's going to happen to property prices. They could continue to rise for the next 1 year plus and then decrease thereafter that, but the actual fact is nobody knows what's going to happen.